lover is the most fundamental of the four mature masculine archetypes because it's the first energy that emerges as we seek a connection with our mothers, a connection that is vital for our survival. As a result, this part of our psyche has had more time to endure more wounds as we've grown. These wounds, especially those experienced during childhood and adolescence, greatly impact our relationships with others when we reach adulthood. Unbalanced lover energy disrupts our ability to form healthy and mature connections with the world. Some signs that point to an unbalanced lover archetype are struggles with gambling, an addiction to pornography, and finding it difficult to control your alcohol or drug consumption. If you experience any of these issues, it's a sure sign you're predisposed to inflated lover energy, also known as the addict. The characteristics of the addict archetype, as described by Robert Moore, highlight the negative aspects of lover energy, such as a compulsive need for something external to fill an inner void, an inability to find satisfaction, and a constant pursuit of pleasure. Moore and Gillette describe how painters, musicians, poets, sculptors, and writers are often mainlining the lover. The artist is well known to be sensitive and sensual. Artists' personal lives are typically, perhaps stereotypically, stormy, messy, and labyrinthine, full of ups and downs, failed marriages, and often substance abuse. Many artists live their lives with an out-of-control lover behind the wheel. And this is why so many of them meet tragic ends.
So you just might as well roll over, baby. I ain't gonna do you no harm. Yeah. Come over here, baby, and see what your daddy wants.
Jimi Hendrix is a fascinating example of a man plugged straight into the lover archetype. Legend has it that he had synesthesia, a condition where the brain links different sensory perceptions together like sound and colours, which meant he could literally see music, so the world seemed a more connected place to him. His synesthesia allowed him to experience music in a unique and deeply connected way, making his artistic expression even more powerful. Purple Haze is one of the greatest guitar songs of all time. It's a pure artistic expression of the lover archetype. His guitar skills and stage presence were legendary, and he pushed boundaries with his performances, including his provocative interactions with his instrument. This uninhibited expression of love for his craft exemplifies the lover archetype's desire for connection and creative exploration. However, Hendrix's story also serves as a cautionary tale about the potential hazards of an over-functioning lover archetype. The price a man pays for boundless lover energy is chaos and addiction. The intense highs and lows that the lover archetype can bring may lead individuals to seek solace or escape through destructive behaviors, such as substance abuse. The dark side of this archetype's excessive indulgence leads to self-harm, and Hendrix's struggles with substance abuse ultimately contributed to his untimely death. It reminds us that while the lover archetype can inspire incredible art and connection, it is crucial for individuals to take care of their well-being and manage the potential risks that come with an overactive lover archetype. There are many forms of love. Passionate sex and selfless compassion all live under the umbrella of love, and the ancient Greeks used the word eros to describe both the narrow sense of having sex, which is where the word erotic comes from, and the wider sense of the bonding and unity between all things. Going further back in history, 17,000 years ago in South France, a painting was done on the wall inside a cave at Lascaux that depicts men with erected penises hunting bison. What our ancient artist is expressing is the essence of a good life, symbolized through his virility. The caveman celebrates hunting and sex, as some form of spirituality. How much have we really changed since then? Is the rebellious teenager who graffitis a crude, erect penis in a public space not just projecting his budding masculinity? It seems the soul of modern man is still connected to the ancient hunter-artist immortalized on that cave wall canvas. The lover archetype is characterized by sensuality, passion, and the ability to appreciate the beauty and subtlety of life. Despite the sorrows and complexities of existence, a deep sense of delight resonates within when you are accessing the lover in his fullness. From the aroma of freshly brewed coffee to the warmth of sunlight on the skin, simple acts evoke immense happiness. The lover is deeply sensitive to the world, finding beauty in nature, art, and human connections. In the case of Hendrix, his untimely demise at the age of 27 as part of the infamous 27 Club demonstrates how lover energy can burn bright and fade fast. Russell Brand, on the other hand, serves as an example of a man who has harnessed the fullness of the lover archetype, although not without a struggle. As a self-confessed former drug and sex addict, there's no doubt Brand is a one-man exhibition of inflated lover energy, especially during his early career when rehab was needed to help him control his addictions. However, part of Brand's appeal has always been that he has had to struggle to overcome his grandiose lover energy.
In my life, where I would have had to categorize myself as a narcissist, I suppose, well, obviously the word comes from Narcissus, who gazing at his own reflection, fell in love with himself and drowned and died, as anyone infatuated with themselves ultimately will. They'll drown in their own unconsciousness because you've got no outside energy. You've become a closed energy system.
The recent allegations made against Brand in a flimsy hit piece by Channel 4 amount to women who consensually had sexual relations with Brand, but felt primarily used as sexual objects. These allegations stem from a time when Brand still clearly had lots of work to do on his lover shadows.
You're a man slut.
Hold on a minute. That's pejorative.
There's an award named after you.
There is actually.
Serial Shagger. The Russell Brand Serial Shagger Award.
Yes, that is actually true, but that's on the basis of an incident that happened in a supermarket aisle with me and some Frosties.
But a lot of healing work has been done since then, and the Russell Brand we see today is a man who has clearly matured and calmed since becoming a husband and father.
Parent, I've been a dad now for approaching 3 years, and here are some of my insights. Firstly, I'm shattered. I'm absolutely shattered by it, and in total awe and wonder. Look at this, 62% of dads want more information on how to be a better parent. I do. You have to become a kind of scientist, philosopher, poet, athletics coach. You're dealing with something very, very pure and very real, and I suppose that in this time of kind of, do we call it nihilism, scientism, relativism? What do we call these values that we have now in this dissipating and deteriorating and fear-ridden society? To become a father is to suddenly have access to something that is primal and beautiful and important, that brings up such positive aspects of maleness and masculinity, protectiveness, compassion, loyalty.
This is manifested in a more spiritually centered Brand, which is a good sign of a man accessing lover energy in a balanced way.
Why can't we be transparent about every area without wanting to generate hysteria or even wanting to be particularly cynical? Open, transparent conversation and the ability for individuals to make their own choices about their own bodies seems to be in the news elsewhere, and it's a sentiment I broadly agree with. Freedom, liberty, leave people alone. Some social responsibility, some means to look after vulnerable people, because ultimately we're all vulnerable people. We're all going to get sick and die sooner or later. And what underwrote the measures taken to mitigate the dangers of this pandemic was the understanding that life is sacred, that all of us are valuable. And if that means we should be locked in our homes, if that means we should take vaccines, if that means we should wear masks, okay, we'll do all of that, because human life is sacred. Whether people have got comorbidities of being ill or are old or in other ways vulnerable, their lives are still important and sacred, and we should do whatever we can to take care of one another. And for me, that's a society I want to live in, where everywhere we go, we see respect for one another, a willingness to care for one another, an acceptance that we're all going to trip up and stumble and fall, but our systems are built on optimistic ideas about humanity, not pessimistic ones. I'm not naive. I know human beings are flawed. By God, I know that now. But why not create systems that generate trust, and honesty. To do that, you're going to need freedom of speech and you're going to need transparency, as well as a good many other things. But that's just why I think.
The lover archetype seeks intimacy and fosters intense emotions, and Brand's charismatic and passionate nature has always aligned with these qualities.
House is nearly on par.
Well, it's rented. We don't know the value. You'd have to talk to my landlord. Blessedly, I can afford my rent, and I'm prepared to stand up for people that can't. It's been lovely talking to you.
People, David Cameron isn't. Lise Russell Brand's actually standing up, regardless of how big his house is, and coming down and helping ordinary
maybe
people.
For media,
Let's see if David Cameron
as soon as people stand up. No, you're turning. No, there's anyone who's like.
David Cameron's prepared to come out of his big house and help us. He isn't, is he? But Russell Brand has, and thank God there is people like him who's prepared to step out and help people like us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have 300,000 signatures. We would have been kicked out and booted out of London.
Yeah,
so thank
snides
God.
like you, mate, undermine it. You're a snide. All right, let's do one.
The lover energy is also the source of spirituality, recognizing the ultimate oneness of all things that various cultures refer to as God.
God. Is there a God? Where are you, God? I believe in God. I believe God to be the limitless consciousness, of which my own tiny little consciousness is but a part. That beneath my identity as an individual, my biochemical reactions, my memories, my impulses, is a witness, and that this limitless witness is probably no different to what you feel. I'm not saying that you and I are not different. You might be from, I don't know, Detroit or Colchester or Mumbai. But my belief is that consciousness itself is one. David Lynch, God love him, said that the Sanskrit form is one line and the characters come from the one line. This is the, what does he call it? The unified field, and all forms come from the unified field. Everything coming from oneness, I believe.
It is the conscious decision to move between passion and intimacy that sets us apart from the shadows of impotence and addiction. And for that, you need a strong king to set your boundaries, so you can experience the full power of the lover. Are you interested in knowing if you embody the essence of the lover in his fullness, or if you are influenced by its more shadowy aspects? Why not take the masculine archetypes test? It's absolutely free and can guide you on a path of self-exploration. By gaining a deeper understanding of your masculine energies, you'll uncover your strengths and identify areas where you can grow. Don't miss out on this opportunity to embark on a journey of self-discovery. Take the masculine test today at www.masculinetest.com.